guys, so ever since I posted the video about studying and living in Spain for 6 months, the good, the bad and the ugly, I've gotten a few questions about it and about studying abroad in general, and I thought I'd answer them here instead of replying to each person individually. I did reply to one person, I think. So I'll just start with the first question. Hi, how are you? Just saw your post, thank you for that, but wanted to ask, what's the cost of living like in Spain? Especially rentals, and which program are you doing, if you don't mind sharing? So I'm doing the Master of Science in Geospatial Technologies. It's an Erasmus Mundus program, and the cost of living is really expensive. For my room, including expenses, I was paying like €300, but without expenses like electricity, gas, water, I was paying like €250 for a room, and that was much more affordable than people in bigger cities. And what I know is that my room was the cheapest among the people in my cohort. Everyone else had a much more expensive room. I think the average was about €300, but it depends on your location. So I was in Castellón de la Plana. It's a small city, but I know someone who was in Barcelona, and the studio apartment was going for almost €1,000. But in Castellón de la Plana, a studio apartment was going between €450 to €550, €600. So you can kind of gauge from that how much it would cost you to live in Spain. In terms of food, I was spending upwards of between €200 and €300 a month. So yeah, it was really expensive. The only thing that's cheap, I would say, is transport. Transport is really cheap, like whether it's locally or even if you're going to a neighboring city, like the trains, it's much cheaper than what you'd find in Zimbabwe, because in Zimbabwe, I think if you're going just like 2-3 hours away, I don't know how much it costs actually anymore, but maybe it's the same. I don't know. Maybe it's the same. It's the same or cheaper. But flights are definitely much cheaper. Like if you're going within the same country, it's going to be really, really cheap. Or if you're going like to neighboring countries, like I know I traveled to Portugal, to Lisbon for like basically €60. I went to Germany for like also €60. So the transport cost, I think, according to me, is like really, really low. Someone messaged me and said, hello, I want to study in Spain. Well, hi, if you want to study in Spain, then that's amazing. That's great. You need to do some research. Use Master's portal to look up like programs that were English speaking and the different locations, tuition fees. There's a lot of criteria that you can just adjust and actually find a program that's well suited to your interests and your field of study. So go ahead, go and do it. Another message I got said, hi Sissy, hope you're well. Do you mind if I'd ask you a few questions? So is the current visa-free travel for some of the African countries really working? Are there any job opportunities there? Well, I don't know a lot, honestly. That's not really my forte. It's not what I was talking about. But I will try to answer your question and say that there is visa-free travel for some African countries, especially in the SADC region. For us Zimbabweans, I'm assuming you're Zimbabwean, I don't know. If there are job opportunities, it depends on the country, but usually no. I think a lot of people are experiencing a lot of countries are experiencing high unemployment, but it also depends on your field of study. If you have a really sought after qualification, then you might get lucky. But I would advise you, if you're going for work, you need to get a work visa first. Don't just go for travel and then try to work on like a tourism visa. That doesn't work. Next message. Hey, I came across your TikTok. Actually, this is the message that made me want to make this video, and it was so sweet. Thank you. Came across your TikTok and saw that you're studying abroad after coming from Zimbabwe. I'm currently looking into doing the same, and I'd really appreciate your advice. Did you get there through a scholarship, financial aid, or self-funding? I was self-funded, and I think that is only for the brave. I was self-funded. I saved up for a while. Initially, I didn't even know what I was saving up for, to be honest. But eventually, I applied for this, and then I realized I wanted to leave my job, and then I left it before I actually got into the program. I applied for it after the scholarship application period ended, so I didn't get a chance to even try for the scholarship, but scholarships are available. But once I got in, I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. So yeah, I was self-funded, but financial aid and scholarships are available. Once you go as a self-funded, sometimes you can get, little scholarships here and there that can help you along the way. And what has your experience been like so far? Costs, applications, working while studying, accommodation, challenges, advantages, disadvantages, etc. Okay, in terms of costs, I already mentioned that. Applications, I think the application was simple. Cover letter was easy. I think for me, I'm a writer, so it was easy for me, but I could try give some tips if you're interested in that. Working while studying. Oh, we also had an interview, so there was an interview, but it was pretty chill. Working while studying, I couldn't do this. And I did have an interview, but all the interviews, they wanted someone who could work full time, and it was really competitive for the English speaking jobs. And unfortunately, I wanted a job in my field. I think if I'd gone in with the mindset of I can just work somewhere packing clothes in Primark or something like that, maybe I could have gotten something. But because I had my savings, I just thought I could hold out for that one perfect job that was actually going to complement what I was studying. But unfortunately, I never got that. So that was a mistake I made for sure. In Germany, there are a lot more job opportunities, and I was more willing to do any menial jobs. But unfortunately, they wanted people who could work more permanently than I could, because I was only staying there for about 4 months. So yeah. Advantages, disadvantages. I think I already mentioned these in the video about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But if you have specific questions, go ahead. I'd especially love to know what you wish you knew before leaving Zimbabwe, and whether you'd recommend the route to someone starting the process now. What I wish I knew, I think like what I mentioned, try to do any job, like just go walk into stores that are selling clothes and try to get a job like just packing clothes or something like that, like anything. I can braid hair, but I don't like doing it to other people. And I think waitressing jobs possibly, but like it depends on the country, because some countries require people can speak their local language. So in Spain, Spanish; in Germany, German. But I didn't want to waitress because I did it when I studied in South Africa for my bachelor's, and I hated it. So yeah, I don't know. I think I was really limiting myself there, and that's on me. Honestly, that's on me. I think honestly, it's something I need to deal with, but I have a lot of pride. I have too much pride, first of all, and I really had a specific vision of what I wanted to do, and I wasn't willing to compromise, which I should have been. So yeah, I really wish I'd done that. But I wish I could have limited my spending a bit more somehow. I suppose like get to know all the discounts and stuff. I wish I'd started being very careful with money from the beginning, because when I first went, I was used to the working version of me that always had money the next month. So I was spending money as if I was going to have a salary the next month, but I wasn't. So I think that like a lot of it is connected to money, because yeah, that was a big disadvantage everywhere. Spain and Germany is even more expensive than Spain. So think of all the costs I mentioned about Spain and like go to Germany and like maybe double them, you know. So yeah, I really wish I had been more careful with money. I wish I could have learned more of the language. I think for Spain, I did learn quite a bit, and I am somewhat proud of myself. I think I can get around without dying there, but I think I could have done better with that. So learn the language. But yeah, I don't know. You can just socialize with people, make friends, go out, have fun. Everyone says just focus on your studies, but honestly, I'm like, experience life too. Do that too. It's important. Yeah, so that's all that I have to share about my experience. If anyone has any more questions, feel free to comment. DM me if you're afraid to comment. I always see the messages. And yeah, bye guys.